Welcome guys in another video. I hope you all are awesome. Today we will talk about the story of Glowing Star the Jealous Parrot. A long, detailed, heart-touching moral story ***. Chapter 1. The Forest of a Thousand Voices. In the heart of the emerald rainforest stood trees so tall that their leaves touched the early morning sky. Sunlight filtered through thick branches, scattering golden rays onto the forest floor. Morning dew sparkled like pearls on green moss, and the air was filled with the sweet fragrance of blooming orchids. This rainforest was famous for one thing: its symphony of voices. Animals of all kinds lived there: chirping sparrows, whistling thrushes, echoing crickets, and even the gentle hum of honeybees. But above all, there were birds, more colorful, more musical, and more graceful than any found elsewhere. Among them lived Paco, a brilliantly feathered green parrot. His wings shimmered with gradients of emerald and lime, and his tail feathers were tipped with sapphire blue. He had a cheerful personality, always chatting, imitating voices, and entertaining anyone who listened. Children who visited the outskirts of the forest adored him because he could mimic human speech, laughter, and even some funny sounds. But despite all the admiration he received, Paco always felt something was missing, something incomplete, something he couldn't name. Until one night. Chapter 2. The Nightingale's Song. Every full moon night, the forest shifted into a magical world. Fireflies floated like tiny lanterns, the wind became soft and melodic, and the air settled into a peaceful rhythm. On one such night, Paco was perched high upon his favorite tree, preening his gleaming feathers. Suddenly, the forest quieted, as if every creature had paused. The leaves stopped rustling, the insects stopped buzzing, and then it began. A song, a voice so pure, so soft, so beautifully woven with emotion that the very moon seemed to glow brighter to hear it. The nightingale. Her name was Nira, a small brown bird with modest feathers. Nothing flashy, nothing colorful, just simple, humble beauty. But when she opened her voice, the entire forest felt blessed. Her song was like a river of silver, sometimes flowing gently, sometimes leaping like waterfalls, sometimes gliding like wind over water. Her notes carried memories, tales, dreams, hopes. It was said that nightingales were born with magic in their voices. Magic that could soothe sadness, awaken joy, and even heal broken hearts. Paco listened with wide eyes, and something began burning inside him. Not admiration, not awe, but jealousy. Chapter 3. The Seed of Envy. Why doesn't my voice sound like that? Paco murmured to himself. He puffed up his chest in annoyance. I'm colorful. I'm talented. Everyone loves parrots. Yet her voice, her simple little voice, is praised more than everything I can do. He listened again. Nira's soft melody floated through the leaves like moonlit silk. Paco felt his heart twist. He tried imitating the song, to see if he could match her beauty. Kori, kilia, ko, ri. But it came out harsh and awkward. He tried again. Are chilui. Still no success. His attempt was a noisy, odd mixture of scratchy croaks and broken whistles. Nearby birds snickered. An old crow chuckled. A robin tilted her head, trying not to laugh. Paco felt embarrassment turn into frustration. She sings like that just because she was born with some magical voice, he snapped. It's not fair. From that day on, jealousy rooted itself inside Paco's heart. Every night he listened to Nira's songs, and every night he felt those roots grow deeper. Chapter 4. The Attempt. By day, Paco became restless. He ignored his friends. He no longer chatted cheerfully with squirrels or entertained children who called him from the forest's edge. Instead, he practiced. Every single day, he stretched his throat muscles. He repeated notes hundreds of times. He imitated the songs of every bird he heard. He even tried to create new melodies, but none of them sounded like Nira's. One afternoon, a wise old tortoise named Toma stopped below Paco's tree. His wrinkled neck stretched out as he looked at the fully frustrated parrot. You look troubled, young one, Toma said in his slow, gentle voice. I'm practicing, Paco replied sharply. For what, may I ask? To sing like Nira. Paco snapped. I want to be the greatest singer of the forest, but every time I try, I fail. Toma blinked his old, calm eyes. Why must you sound like her? Because she's perfect. Everyone adores her voice. No one talks about mine. But you already have a voice gifted uniquely to you, Toma said. A parrot's voice is not meant to be a nightingale's. Paco frowned. Then what is it meant to be? That, my friend, the tortoise smiled, is something only you can discover. Paco didn't want to hear wise old riddles. He wanted a solution. He wanted to be like Nira. And so he kept practicing. For weeks. But no matter how hard he tried, he remained a parrot, not a nightingale. Chapter 5. The Storm Night. One evening, thick clouds gathered above the forest. The wind howled. Thunder roared like a giant awakening. The animals hurried to their homes, hiding from the violent storm. Paco, too frustrated to join them, sat alone on a branch, soaked by the rain, shivering as lightning split the sky. Suddenly, a small, terrified cry pierced through the storm. Help, someone help. Paco's heart jumped. He leapt from his branch and glided through the rain. There, caught between two branches, was Nira, her wing trapped, trembling as wind battered her tiny body. Her voice, usually so strong, was now weak and desperate. Paco didn't think twice. He grabbed the branch with his claws and pulled with all his strength. The storm tossed him, the wind slapped his wings, but Paco held on. Don't worry, I've got you. With one final tug, Nira was free, but her wing was hurt. She couldn't fly. Hold on to me, Paco said. She wrapped her tiny claws around his neck, and he carried her to safety, deep into a hollow tree where she could rest. The storm raged outside, but inside the hollow, it was warm and safe. Nira looked at Paco with grateful eyes. You saved me, she whispered. Thank you. Chapter 6. Truth in the Quiet. Paco felt shy. I didn't want anything to happen to you. Nira smiled. I've seen you practicing every day. Paco froze. You have. Yes. And I think it's admirable. Paco's eyes widened. But I sound terrible. Nothing like you. Nira giggled softly. Of course you don't. You were never meant to sound like me. Paco lowered his head. Then why do people love your voice so much? Because it's mine, Nira said. But you, Paco, you have something I don't. Paco blinked. Like what? Your voice has color, she said. It carries joy. It carries laughter. It carries stories and excitement. You can imitate everything, from other birds to human voices. Your sound brings happiness. My voice brings happiness? Paco whispered in surprise. More than you know. Paco felt a warm glow inside him, something he hadn't felt in a long time. Not jealousy, not frustration, but acceptance. Chapter 7. The Discovery. Over the next few days, Paco stayed with Nira and helped her heal. They talked, laughed, and even shared melodies. Paco sang in his voice, playful, rhythmic, vibrant. Nira listened, eyes sparkling. Paco, your voice is beautiful. And for the first time ever, Paco believed it. He no longer tried to imitate her. Instead, he explored his own strengths. He created lively tunes full of cheer. He mixed human words with bird sounds to create funny songs. He mimicked instruments he had heard from travelers. He invented rhythms no bird had tried before. His voice was different, unique, beautiful in its own way. When Nira finally healed and returned to the forest, she encouraged him to sing freely. So he did. One morning, Paco perched on the tallest branch of the banyan tree and let his new voice soar. Birds gathered. Animals stared. Even the wind seemed to pause. His song wasn't soft like Nira's, nor magical like a nightingale's. It was lively, bold, full of color and life. Something entirely his own. And the animals loved it, because it came from Paco's heart. Chapter 8. The Festival of Voices. Soon, the forest announced a celebration. The Festival of 1,000 Voices, held once every few years to honor the beauty of sound. Every bird prepared. The robins rehearsed their cheerful trills. The peacocks practiced their proud calls. The owls warmed up their deep, humming hoots. Nira was expected to perform as the star. But when the night arrived, and the moon bathed the clearing in silver, something unexpected happened. Nira stepped forward and said, "Tonight, someone else deserves the spotlight." The forest murmured. And then she called Paco. Paco's heart pounded. His feathers trembled. But as Nira nodded in encouragement, he stepped forward. He began singing. Not her song, not anyone's song, but his own. His voice danced through the night like sparks of color. Children clapped from afar. Birds swayed. Even the stars seemed to listen. When he finished, the forest exploded with applause. Nira smiled proudly. Toma the tortoise nodded with wise satisfaction. The festival declared Paco's performance a new treasure of the forest. And for the first time, Paco didn't feel jealous. He felt proud. Chapter 9. Lesson of the Heart. Later that night, Paco sat beside Nira under a moonlit branch. You were right, he said softly. My voice was never meant to be yours. Nira smiled. And my voice was never meant to be yours. But both are beautiful, Paco said. Exactly, Nira replied. Because beauty grows where authenticity lives. Paco looked up at the sky. The stars twinkled like tiny musical notes spread across the heavens. I'm glad I found my own voice, he whispered. Nira gently touched her wing to his. You always had it. You just needed to see it. Glowing star moral of the story. Focus on your own strengths. Everyone has unique gifts. Trying to be someone else only hides the beauty inside you. If you'd like, I can also create. Thank you guys for watching my video. Please subscribe for more updates. Take care of yourself. Bye bye.